appreciate it.
Good morning. I would like to welcome you to this morning's Fremont County Commissioners meeting. Call this meeting to order and invite you to rise for an invocation by Todd Luce with the Grandview Christian Church and to stay standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Would you bow with me, please? Gracious and Heavenly Father, we come to you today and I ask your blessing upon this meeting. I pray that you will be with the commissioners and that you will give them wisdom and understanding and attentive ear to concerns or ideas. Lord, I also pray that your Spirit guide them and to do what's best for this county. And Lord, we thank you for your grace and your mercy and all the blessings you give us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Todd. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bell.
Present.
Commissioner Grantham. Here. Commissioner McFall.
Present.
County Attorney Jackson.
Present.
County Manager Bryant.
Present.
Planning and Zoning Coordinator Ademick.
Present.
Thank you, Justin. We turn next to the approval of today's agenda. We do have one item to add under the consent agenda. We're going to make this item 3 and renumber item 3 as number 4. So this is the approval of resolution number 27 of 2022, adopting the 17th Amendment to the Fremont County Zoning Resolution.
Madam Chair, with that addition to the consent agenda, I move for approval of the agenda.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve today's agenda. Further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Motion carries.
On today's consent agenda, we are scheduling 2 public hearings. These both will be November 8th, starting with the first at 10 a.m. The first item is a preliminary plan request, 22-003, for Greer Farms subdivision, dividing one lot into 2. Lot 1 will be 4.95 acres and Lot 2 will be 0.71. Both are located in the agricultural suburban district. And item 2 is a special review use, 22-001, for Arkansas Valley Ambulance District for construction of a substation that will house 2 ambulances, with 2 to 3 emergency responders manning the station during calls.
Phew.
That was a lot to say.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
It has been moved and motioned and second. Sorry, I'm apparently having trouble speaking this morning. Moved and seconded to approve this morning's consent agenda. Further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Motion carries.
We move next to informational and administrative topics. We begin with staff and elected officials, and we will start with our county clerk's monthly report from Clerk Justin Grantham. Good morning, Justin.
Good morning. We do not have September's report as of yet, but we do have July and August, so in the next hour I'll go through these in detail. No, just kidding.
Excellent.
Sure.
Total motor vehicle fees, sales tax, and recording fees collected for July of this year were $1,158,692.41. Of that, Fremont County's portion for disbursement is $682,918.94, which is 59% of the total fees and is $74,295.37 less than July of last year. Year-to-date, the office in July was $370,373 and some cents down. And then August, the total motor vehicle fees, sales tax, and recording fees collected were $1,461,634.04. Of that, Fremont County's portion for disbursement is $829,833.13, which is 57% of the total fees and is $31,231.13 less than last August, putting our year-to-date down $401,604.51.
It's catching, isn't it?
It is catching. What I
Sorry.
will note is, due to the cyber attack, we were closed half of August. So that number may not be completely accurate.
And if it's not accurate, it will probably be caught up within the next month or so.
It'll be caught up on September's report, maybe October's. And the only reason I say it's not accurate is not because of the office not having its paperwork. It's because of individuals not being able to come to the building to do transactions during that portion of time that they may have ended up in September.
All right, thank you, Justin. Questions for Justin? Motion to accept?
Madam Chair, I move to accept the county clerk's monthly report.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to accept the county clerk's monthly report for July and August of 2022. Further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham?
Aye.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And Mr. Grantham, while you're up, would you like to go ahead and speak about the election?
Absolutely. So we do have an election coming up. It's November 8th. I tell people that even year elections are the first Tuesday after the first Monday, and odd year elections are the first Tuesday, so it's never the same day twice. So the election is a little bit later this year. It's November 8th, so know that your ballots, you'd normally get them around October 10th, around Columbus Day timeframe. They did not get mailed because the time to mail them is the following week. So next week, we'll mail the ballots out October 17th. Know that that's coming up. It is an even year election, so on election day, we will have 3 voting centers open. One at the Penrose Library, one here at the Garden Park building across the street here in Canyon. And then we moved the Florence City Hall Voting Center out to the Pathfinder Park. We can receive better services out there, so we decided to move that into the county-controlled building. We also have our drop boxes. They'll be open the week of the 24th. And early voting will also be open the week of the 24th in the Garden Park building. So read your instructions inside your ballots that they come by, and know that if you live inside the city of Canyon City, you have 41 questions on the ballot. So know that this ballot is a very long ballot. Take your time. There are a lot of questions to be answered on there. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for that. Up next, we have a county manager's report from Sunny Bryan. Good morning.
Good morning. So just a couple of quick updates. So we do still have several employment opportunities available at the county. Unfortunately, our website is still down. And so if you are looking for employment, we do post those through the Colorado Workforce Center, or you can come into the job board here at the county. It's by the administration office, room 106, and see what vacancies we have. And we do have paper applications that you can fill out. So the RFP for the countywide broadband study has been posted, and so that's out on BidNet. Proposals are due on October 27th, so we're really excited for that project to be going. And then we're still working on the 2023 budget, so we're a little bit behind in that process still, just with the computer system being down for a while. And so we're meeting with the board starting this afternoon, and we'll have several meetings over the next couple weeks to get that budget draft prepared and presented. And then last, so this is my last official county manager report. So my last day with the county will be October 27th. It's truly been an honor to serve the citizens of the county for the last 9.5 years. And so I'm just looking forward to, I will still be residing in Fremont County and just watching all of the great work that continues. So that's all I have.
Thank you for that, Sunny. And I would just follow up with Sunny's report and say, first of all, we're going to miss her terribly. She will be here at our next meeting, but she will not be giving her monthly report. She just did that. I also would like to announce that this board made the decision yesterday to hire an interim county manager. That person is sitting up here with Sunny this morning. Her name is Tammy's Child. She's a very familiar face here in Fremont County, especially to county employees, as Tammy has spent the last several years as our HR director, and she also has served as an assistant county manager. So we think she's well positioned to take this on until we have a permanent replacement. And working toward that permanent replacement, we actually are working with a headhunting firm to do some consulting and to get out there and find the very best replacement possible for all of Fremont County. So welcome, Tammy, and Sunny will say farewell next time. All right, gentlemen, what do you have this morning?
I've got a quick, interesting subject to talk about, and it's stage 1 fire restrictions.
What?
We are still in an unincorporated Fremont County under stage 1 fire restrictions, but it is getting drier and drier out there. We haven't had any moisture in the last month or so. There's been some snow up high, but the winds are going to start blowing here this fall, so be very careful and diligent out there, and just mind your fires. It's starting to cool off, and people are going to want to start having campfires and stuff, so just be very careful. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Grantham.
Nothing really more to add, Madam Chair, just to tag on to the clerk's emphasis on the election, and when those ballots get out, if you don't want your mailbox filled every day with junk, then get your ballots voted and turned back in as quickly as you can. That's it.
All right, I would like to mention quickly, the three of us spent last Friday up in Denver at Colorado County's Incorporated offices all day. We were there to discuss pending legislation for 2023. Seems like this is a process that just never ends. So CCI is an advocating group for all of the counties in Colorado, and we start usually in July with putting together potential lists of legislation we would like to see run during the following legislative year. Friday was the day after discussing those issues at many different meetings. We finally narrowed it down to 5, and those are our top legislative priorities for 2023, and we also have an entire list of what we call Table 2, which are issues that we direct CCI staff to work on and to discuss, but they're not one of our top priorities. So even when you think we're safe out of the water because we're not in legislative season, it's always under discussion. And we will continue to do the good work that we do with CCI. All right, anything else before we move on? Okay, up next, citizens who wish to address the commissioners on a matter not scheduled on today's agenda. Do we have anyone in the room who would like to rise and speak to this board? All right, seeing none, we'll move on. We have no old business for consideration this morning. We turn to new business. Item number 1 is Super Team PCSO requesting the issuance of a special events permit for malt, Venice, and spirituous liquor at 6655 Highway 115 in Florence, which is the Pathfinder Park Event Center, for events in 2022 on October 29th from 6 p.m. to midnight, and on December 31st from 6 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. I believe we have with us Jillian Cheek this morning. Good morning. If you would hit that button. All right, and just kind of let us know what you got going on out there.
Well, the one for October is actually a reschedule from the concert that we had in August. The band, the day of, one fell down with COVID, and the drummer had a pinched nerve in his back. So, like, a concert without a lead singer or a drummer is not much of a concert. So,
Good call.
right? So we rescheduled it for the 29th, and it's going to be a Halloween-themed one. And then we're also doing a New Year's Eve one as well. So.
We do have maps and you know, drawings and different things here in the request itself. Let me ask you about training for those who will be serving alcohol. What kind of training do they go through? How do you keep those who will be drinking separated from those who will not?
So all of our bartenders and anybody that's serving is tip certified. They are gone through all of that. All of our security officers are manned at all the doors. We band everybody 21 and up when they come in, whether they're drinking or not, just so we know if we see somebody with something in their hand that they're not supposed to, we can take care of it very quickly. But we haven't had any issues with that at any of the other ones so far. So,
all right, thank you. Let's turn next to Clerk and Recorder Justin Grantham for a staff report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The clerk's office sees no issue with Super Team's PCSO's application, as we've been provided with all the necessary documentation, and the same event was approved back in June for different event dates. It was also reviewed by the county attorney and the public health and sheriff's office. We recommend approval per their reports.
All right, thank you for that. Gentlemen, do you have any questions of either our applicant or the clerk?
I do have a question. It's kind of a curiosity question more than anything. You've had an event or two out there, and I'm just curious of how they're going. I mean, you're offering something that we haven't had in Fremont County really, and that's a concert series.
Right.
How's the attendance and that type of stuff? I noticed in the application you're expecting 375, but what's it been?
That's the cap. We know that the building holds more, but we don't feel comfortable filling it all the way to the rim. But the very first concert, it was slow, but it's gaining momentum. Our next concert is actually the day before the one that we're going to make up. We actually have one on October 28th, and it's going to be a sold-out concert because we're bringing in a national record label artist coming in. And so they are gaining momentum, and they're doing really well. And we're in talks with, we already have 5 dates scheduled for next year at your guys' building. And then we're hoping to do at least once a month there to try to get, that building used and to bring something to Fremont County that's not here, so.
That's awesome, and that was kind of my point. I think the building is getting used pretty well, and I appreciate you guys doing that, and I'm just curious how that's going, so thank you.
This is not a public hearing, but I would ask if there's anyone present in our audience who would like to rise and speak about this occasion before we take a vote. All right, seeing none. Gentlemen, if you have nothing further, I'm prepared for a motion.
I've got a motion for you, Madam Chair. I move to approve Super Team PCSO for special events permits for malt, venison, spirituous liquor at 6655 Highway 115 in Florence. Those dates are October 29th from 6 to midnight and December 31st from 6 to 12:30 a.m.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the issuance of special events permit for malt, venison, and spirituous liquor as previously described.
Thank you.
All right, further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here, and we wish you the very best.
Yes, thank you.
Item 2 is My Sister's Place, doing business as, LLC, doing business as My Sister's Place at the Royal Gorge, requesting approval to issue a renewal for their hotel and restaurant liquor license at 19 County Road 3A in Canyon City. This renewal application was due August 20 of 2022 and was not submitted to the clerk's office until September 21st of 2022. And are you Diana? I am. Good morning. We have with us Diana Drake as our representative. If you would like to speak briefly to this.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Would you turn on the microphone? Just press that button.
There
There
you
we
go.
go. Thank you.
First of all, I'd like to apologize for taking your time and all this. It's been a difficult year. I have been working about 90 hours a week, and so trying to keep up with my paperwork and my books has been difficult because the labor shortages have been just horrendous. To get through the summer was rather difficult. So I'm just now trying to play catch up, pay my bills, and get all that done. Everything went sky high through the roof. Food costs are double, labor's double. My lease went up, everything increased, but my revenue. And so it took me some time to be able to afford to apply for my liquor license this year, fortunately. And so that's why I'm standing before you.
All right. Thank you.
The research shows that there's 40% of the businesses have closed, the restaurants and bars, and the other ones aren't making a dime right now. We're just barely squeaking by. I stay open all winter on the Hill. I'm the only business that does. I provide, food and social activities for those on Highway 9 and living all up in that area of Fremont County. And they're very sad that I have to come before you. They all understand, but so I just hope you all understand. I hope you all will continue to give me my liquor license. I don't think I can stay open without it. So.
All right. Thank you for that. Let's turn next for a staff report again to Clerk Grantham.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This renewal application was due August 20th and received by the office in September 21st. They have provided our office with all the necessary documentation, including a letter of explanation requesting the waiver for the late fee. We'll note that our office did receive the license holder's renewal late one time before this in the last 5 years, due in 2018. It was 14 days late there as well. It was reviewed by county attorney, public health, and the sheriff's office, which recommend approval.
So today we would be approving this with a waiver of the timely application. Is that correct?
Correct. and the late fee as well.
And late fee. All right, gentlemen, questions, comments?
Nope.
I have a comment, I guess.
Yes.
You have to come before us to renew your license anyway, so it's just that you're late this time, right?
Right, I do not come before you
Yeah,
every year,
yeah.
just
No,
when
it's-
I'm.
Oh,
that's right, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
It's administrative,
Yeah.
But,
typically.
It has been tough all over for everybody, I get that. I appreciate you guys being open up there, because there's not anything else up there open all year round. I understand COVID is hard on everybody, and it's hard to recoup from that because of the lack of employees. I mean, we're feeling it here, everywhere else,
Yeah.
all over the country, so I understand that.
And my revenue looks much like your thing there, everything's way
Down
down.
from
You
last
know,
year,
It's
yeah.
like, oh, Lord. So I'm just trying to hang on another year till I can get to next year, and hopefully things will look better, that's all. That'll be my 8th year in operations, will be next season, so.
And I guess just a statement for when there is a motion, I'm okay with waiving the late fee this time. This would be the second time, so, but I think there's extenuating circumstances this time, so.
Okay,
That's my
thank
piece.
you
Thank
for
you.
that. Let me ask once again, this is not a public hearing, but do we have anyone in our audience who would like to rise and speak toward this? All right, seeing none, gentlemen, I am prepared for a motion.
Well, I've got one for you.
All right.
And just to reiterate what Commissioner McFall said, we certainly understand the circumstances, and we don't have a problem with that as far as waiving the late fee. And it's been tough on a lot of folks.
Yeah.
Especially in your industry, and with all the mandates that came down from on high,
Yep.
especially against restaurants and folks with liquor licenses. So we appreciate you coming in and we understand.
I
So,
appreciate your
Madam Chair, I would move to approve this hotel and restaurant liquor license renewal for My Sister's Place LLC, doing business as My Sister's Place at the Royal Gorge, located at 19 County Road 3A, Canyon City. This was due on August 20th and was submitted on September 21st, and so I also move a waiver of the late fee.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve this liquor license renewal for My Sister's Place, including a waiving of the timely application as well as the late fee itself. So I would just add on to that, we do understand. We shop, we go places, and we know what has happened
Yeah.
to prices. It's hitting everyone right now,
So I'm
so.
embarrassed to have to come before you.
No reason to be.
No,
So
don't
just thank you for coming and being here this morning.
Thank you.
Further discussion before we vote.
No.
Roll call.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, next
Good luck.
item.
Keep
Thank
up
you
the
so
battle.
much. Yep, keep it up. Next item is resolution extending the moratorium regarding lot size for emergency services facilities. And for a quick explanation, we're going to turn to our county attorney, Brenda Jackson. Good morning, Brenda.
Good morning. Almost a year ago, the board adopted a moratorium so that emergency services facilities such as ambulance, fire, police, and the like would not need to comply with the minimum lot size of 4.5 acres in certain zone districts. So that's about to expire. There is one application pending for such a facility, working its way through Planning Commission, and will be coming before the board for a public hearing. And so that moratorium is set to expire the first week of November, the 9th, I think.
Yep.
And so this just extends it for another year. The part of the justification for the extension of the moratorium is that we're getting ready to rewrite our entire zoning resolution, and this will be one of the considerations to write into the new resolution.
All right, thank you for that, Brenda. I also was going to mention that we did receive a grant from the state for a complete overhaul and rewrite of our county zoning codes. We're really excited to have this happen. We talk quite often about how cumbersome they are, how lengthy they are, and how it seems as though there are a lot of obstacles written into our regulations here in Fremont County, and we hope to let some of those go. So, gentlemen,
Got a motion if you're ready.
I believe I am.
So this is just another step. I think the thing that we added under the consent agenda was also consideration for the zoning changes that will possibly happen in the future too. But with this, Madam Chair, I move to approve resolution number 32, which is an extension of the moratorium regarding lot size for emergency service vehicle facilities.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 32, extending the moratorium regarding lot size for emergency services facilities until November 9th of 2022. Further 2023. Further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, next up is the reappointment of Jim Nelson to the Fremont County Heritage Commission for a term that would end on December 31st of 2025. And I think I will ask Commissioner Grantham to speak briefly about this reappointment, since he is the board liaison to the Fremont County Heritage Commission.
Gladly, Madam Chair. And we received a letter for a reappointment from Mr. Nelson. Just one of those kind of things that you get the privilege of sitting on some of these boards and commissions as the commissioners. We split up a lot of those duties. And the Heritage Commission is one of those that I'm assigned with. And for those of us that understand, the importance of history, and we kind of like to geek out on some of these things when it comes to local history. And it's actually a really good commission to participate in if you like that sort of thing, and I do. And these folks, and I'm going to kind of speak globally, at least as far as the Heritage Commission, they all have a great understanding and appreciation for the history of our community, the history of Fremont County. They coordinate a lot with some of the local history centers in the individual towns and regionally as well. But they do a fantastic job of highlighting some of the things that make us what we are and where we've been and where we're heading. In fact, right now we are in Fremont County Heritage Month at this very moment. Jim Nelson is one of those rock-solid people that just not sure how we'd function without him in this particular commission. He just does a whole lot, and he identified several of his projects and the projects of the commission in his letter, and I wholeheartedly support his request for renewal, and I would move for the reappointment of Jim Nelson to the Fremont County Heritage Commission for a term ending December 31, 2025.
It has been moved and seconded to reappoint Jim Nelson to the Fremont County Heritage Commission for a term ending on December 31st of 2025. I would just chime in and say Jim is a force when it comes to heritage here in Fremont County. He's incredibly knowledgeable. He's so excited about the things that particular board is doing, and I think we're thrilled to be able to reappoint him. So I just want to shout out not only to Jim, but to all the members of that commission and say thank you so much for the work that you do. Anything further?
Just might as well pile on, right?
You might as well.
It's interesting. We get letters of interest or letters of interest for reappointments, and most of the time it's just I'm interested in being reappointed. Jim's letter does, Commissioner Grantham mentioned, he's got bullet points in here. What we are doing is the way he puts it, but he is a driving force in all these, the heritage guides that they have out, identifying other related things throughout the county, the website they've been working on and getting that going so people can do it, supporting the Tourism Council and their efforts. I mean, it's just pretty amazing what those guys do, and he is a driving force. So,
Absolutely. All right, thank you for that. I think we're ready for roll call.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And the final item on our agenda today is a waiver request for a zone change application fee for property located at 25305 US Highway 50 in Cotopaxi. This comes to us from property owner Michelle Wood, and I'm going to turn to Planning and Zoning Coordinator Danielle Adamick for a brief description. Good morning, Danielle.
Good morning. January 28th of 2020, we did a 14th amendment to the Resolution 9 series of 2020. What that did, it was an amendment. It eliminated the travel trailer park and campground zone districts, made them obsolete. Now you have to do a special review use permit in order to do a travel trailer and campground. Michelle bought this property thinking that she could turn it into a campground, and she was a little disappointed when she found out she can no longer do that. So she's asking, she has to rezone the property to ag suburban. Yes, sorry, ag suburban, and she's just requesting for the fees to be waived.
Okay, thank you so much for that explanation. Makes perfect sense to me. Gentlemen, comments, questions? Motion.
I've got a motion. I think that was a oversight when that all happened, so I move to approve the waiver request for fees for the zoning change application for the property located at 25305 US Highway 50 in Cotopaxi, Colorado.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve this waiver request for the fees associated with the zone change application for this property at 25305 in Highway 50 in Cotopaxi. Further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I would just like to say, for those of you who don't know, others have heard me say it a couple of times in the past, COVID brain fog is a real thing. So please forgive the mistakes of the tongue this morning, and I'll work on getting better with that. And with that, we are adjourned.